what I also think is interesting is that on Netflix, on the same platform, if you like, and in a similar timeline, you can have the Riverdales and the Sabrinas, which are a hyper real sort of take on those stories or similar characters, and you have the hark back to what the Archies authentically were. Was that important for you, John? That there can be various iterations, there can be various sort of ways to tell these stories and to bring these characters to the screen?
It's so important. It just shows, one thing about these characters, because they're so well known, everyone has their own take on, their own feeling for these characters, right? Whether you relate to Betty, Veronica, Jughead, whomever, you feel who they are. And one of the things that for us was so important is, I always felt as long as you maintained the integrity, the DNA, so to speak, of who these characters were, you could put them in many different settings. But as long as Archie still was Archie, right? And Jughead was still Jughead, he might be modern and he might, look like, a very handsome young man, who's our lead in the Riverdale show. But he's still Jughead, right? And that's what it's all about. And that's what the Archies movie is. These characters, when I saw the movie, I was blown away. I don't want to say stunned, in the greatest way, of how the DNA was so intact of who these characters were, and that carries through from the Archies to Riverdale to Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's all the same, as long as you keep the authenticity and the DNA of the characters. And Sonia and Rima did that so beautifully, and it is really important. And now, we're also all our stuff's going to be on Netflix, which is pretty cool. So very happy about that.
Yeah, I'm so glad we'd have it no other way. But also I think that just kind of talks to the diversity and variety that actually rests on Netflix. No two titles, even though the Archies live in a fictional town called Riverdale, Archies doesn't look anything like Riverdale. And that's the beauty really of Netflix. We're all for diversity, we're all for variety. There's something for everyone, there's something for every mood. So
my question is from a writer's perspective. So when you're writing a script, which is, as you said, that it needed to have elements from Archie's world and also pertain to the local audience, and also finish the distance between the yesteryear's generation till Gen Z's. I think I have two questions. Please answer whatever you can. What were the challenges that, or if there were any challenges where you had any sort of pressure back of your mind that it needs to be, needs to pertain to this audience, but how do I still make it authentic? That's one. And if you had checkpoints in the middle of your writing script?
No, I mean, all the things you mentioned were the challenges. We knew that we wanted to do, we basically wanted to do a very young adult film. And we were very clear about that. And we wanted to do it for people of the age group we were when we were reading it. And naturally, the generation that has read it at that age, and could be our age now, will still be the audience for it, because that's nostalgia and going down memory lane. But if today's kids could feel what we felt, a 12-year-old today could feel the same way, it would be fresh.